I'm here with the Mach 1. I got a quick little update on something else I've been working on. For the 1970 Mustang Mach 1, they had along the bottom of the rocker panel on both sides, in this spot, they had light metal rocker panel molding that went all along the car to the back, and it said Mach 1 here, letters and then the number 1, and it was it was originally done in dark argent paint. I'm probably not going to do mine in dark argent. I'll probably do mine in the regular black. Mine was missing 4 pieces, so I went on eBay and I got these. They needed some work, but some of the stuff that I had done to them was there was a random mixture of letters that were still on it, and I used a paint can opener and a screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, to remove the letters. And between all the pieces I got 9 pieces. I think I got 9 pieces for like $2.75. But there are 2 different types. There's the type where the letters come off, which was for, I think it was earlier Mach 1s, and then there was the type where the letters are fixed in the cast iron, and those were for the later years. So I've got 1 set of letters, which is nice because these letters can be like anywhere between 10 and 20 bucks a piece, and they're not steel. I think they're like aluminum. They're very light. This metal itself is not steel either. It's like some kind of an alloy, because I had tried to weld a hole and it burned right through, and I was on minimum heat right up here. I tried to weld it and it burned through. So there were some drill holes. I guess people commonly drilled holes in these. You can see where I had to fill those drill holes here and here and here and here. I had to fill those drill holes because I want this to be as close to original as possible. One other thing to point out is that the way this thing attaches to the body, the actual screws that they used went under the letters. So trying to think about how to remount this is to attach it and then screw it in and then pop my letters on. That's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some oval bolts, some machine screws, and pop them in there, and then just hold them in while I fix the letters on, and then I'll flip it over and I'll solder. So there's one here and there's one here. Bless you, buddy. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Those are the 3 original locations. 1, 2 under the M, and then the other one at the top of the C. Over here, same side. Well, other side of the car, but it's a mirror. 1, 2, and then here. So this is the M. This is going to be the A. So at the top of the A, and then 2 under the 1. Now, when you flip it over, how confident I am about this is we've got studs. Let's show you one that's not broken first. On the back, we've got 2 studs right here. 1, 2, and I'll probably try to figure out some kind of clip situation or bolt that does work for those. But those are really just going to hold it in place. That's what I'm depending on. I'm going to use the machine screws at locations 1, 2, and 3 to hold them in. And then what I'll do is when I pop the letter in, so let's say I'm talking about the M, which this is the M for this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to pull the pieces in from the back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, this is the M. These little pieces are going to correspond to these little holes, and then I think I'm going to use solder. I'm going to use a soldering iron and dump a little bit of solder onto there to keep these fixed. Now the problem is when I solder them in, they're going to be in there pretty well, and this M is going to then be resting over these holes. But if I have preset the machine screws and maybe even dropped a little bit of solder onto those machine screws, not only will it not have been too hot to melt this metal, because it's obviously not a welding iron or a MIG welder, but it should be enough to hold it in place. That and a little bit of finger pressure on the back, I should be able to tighten up that bolt on the back of the machine screw enough to hold it in. The other thing I got to do is some of these need repairs on the studs. So as you can see, this has 1, 2 complete studs. These, it's broken off. Okay, so I think this actually is a little bit of steel that has been set in to the aluminum alloy panel itself, this whole rocker piece. And if that's the case, I should be able to get a regular machine screw, stick it on here, hold it, I don't know, maybe hold it in place with a clamp or something, and then maybe just pop a little bit of MIG welding onto there in order to recreate the two studs. Those are all pretty much the same story here on the passenger side of this piece, which goes, I'll show you where this goes. These are very similar, the passenger and driver piece. Passenger side of the car, this one goes down here, right here. Okay, there's the back. There's a rear passenger wheel, and here's where this piece goes. See how these two studs fit in these two holes? Right here. See that stud? Pop, pop, and it just rests in there like that. Now, I had to get these before I did paint because I needed to dry fit them to make sure that they're going to fit, to make sure all the appropriate holes are already existing, because I do not want to be banging on the body and drilling holes after I do a nice paint job. So that's why I had to acquire these first. So I do have to, I already ground these down very, very lightly, very slight grind on these, just to create the flat surface where I can weld a machine screw onto there. And you can also see a little bondo here where I had repaired those drill holes. This side, this stud is in great condition, still complete. This one needs to be repaired. So I'm going to be working on those studs to get these pieces complete. The whole set of rocker paneling for both sides is 8. There's these 2 big ones, the 2 little ones, and then a couple of longer pieces. One that extends the far bottom of the car just under the door. Here they are, over here. And 2 shorter ones that are on the door itself.
I can't make this set.
Alright, I'll help you in just a second here, buddy. Alright, so that's Joe B here with the Mach 1, working on some of the rocker panel molding. And we'll see you soon.